Okay, welcome to day two of Step into the Akash. I don't know about you, but I've loved being in this space for the last couple of days. And I'd really love to know in the chat what so far your biggest aha moment or your biggest takeaway, or if any kind of these plot twists have started to happen, as can often happen as we emerge in the space. So just pop it in the chat. I would love to know. Um, oh, I'm just checking that somebody said that they haven't got the Zoom. So I did pop it in there, but let me just do that again. Because technology is technology, isn't it? Okay, there we go. Having worked in the Akashic Records and all of the questions and answers that you have been giving over the last 24, 48 hours have all been there for a purpose. Because what's really interesting for me is that many of you intuitively knew how the records can help you. So when I asked if you could ask anything, what would you ask? We had questions from abundance, we had questions from relationships, we had questions around our business, we had questions around how we can best serve. And there seemed to be this real knowing and understanding that when we're working in this space, we can actually receive the answers to these patterns, to these understandings of who we are, to these limitations that have been put on ourselves. And what that tells me is that we intuitively know that those limitations, those blocks, those things that have been holding us back, those things that we haven't been seen clearly, well, we kind of understand that they're not the truth of who we are. And that maybe our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to overcome these blocks. That these, like, we can, it's so easy, isn't it, when we see these patterns, when we find ourselves in these certain circumstances, in these certain situations, when we say to ourselves, oh my God, we've done it again. Yeah. That we think that this is just us. But actually, when we open up into these possibilities, we start to understand that no, this isn't just us, that there's more, that actually there's something coming in and coming through us, that we want to become something. And I think many of us in this space are here to help, are here to serve, are here to be that change, and not just for ourselves and for the people immediately around us, but for the world. Give me a one in the chat if you feel like that is you. And so amazing, as we have been just even stepping our toes into this space, I think I can feel from many of you that we're starting to just zoom out into the things that have been keeping us behind closed doors. So my story was very much, before I started in the Akashic Records, I was already doing this work. I was doing tarot readings, I was practicing Reiki. I was already obsessed with like many things. I'd been really researching a lot about the law of attraction, and I had these like crazy manifestations happen, and all this really cool stuff. And it was my experience in the records that actually really helped me to progress into the things that I was doing inside my safe little comfort zone, into the things that were just, like just keeping me going. Yeah, Mel, well done, you're doing very well. Good for you. Into like, whoa, there's more. And this is what really stepped me into this role as teacher. This is what really put me out there. This is what helped me, for example, be able to go out and speak about this and put it live on my page, or to go and stand in front of stages, or to be on podcasts, or to have these conversations with a random stranger. Because no longer did I feel like I had to hide behind something. And it wasn't until I stepped into this space that I realized that I actually was hiding behind something. And looking back, it was so obvious, right? And I wonder how many of us feel that we feel like we're hiding behind something, or that we have been. Let me know if that's you. Give me an emoji if you think that's you. Absolutely. And I want to say that that's quite normal. It's quite usual, especially if we're on this spiritual path. Because as we find ourselves on the spiritual path, this isn't a path that was always accepted. This isn't a path that was always available to us. It's something that's ancient. It's something that's like it's not new, but for many years, like many hundreds of years, this work was dangerous to do. We weren't able to speak about this. And even if it wasn't us in past lives or through our ancestry, we saw this and we witnessed this in the collective. And so it sits in the collective, and therefore it sits in our Akashic records. And I believe truly that we're moving into this space that as we find ourselves here at the end of 2024, we're really in exciting times. That we're finding ourselves now that all of that stuff that we've been harboring for the last 3, 4, 500 years, and really before that, but that's quite a recent past, that we're changing that, right? That we're feeling this thing like for ages. You think about our parents' parents, and there were a few, like my grandma, bless her, like warrior, who was a healer in her own right, a hypnotherapist. Like I think about her and her plight and how it must have been telling her doctor brother and her businessman dad that she was going to go and be a hypnotherapist and a thought from doing this tapping, this weird tapping thing. I remember her telling me about the tapping. She's like, "You might think I'm a little bit mad, dear, but we're going to be doing this thing." And I was like, "This is nuts." Anyway, but we think about generally our parents' generations and our parents' generations. They didn't have this same that we do about coming into this not just religion, like outside of religion, into this spirituality, into our own connection. And so we're the way showers and we're finding the way, which is why it feels for me that the Akashic records are like stepping up and they're like, hey, it's our time now. And they're opening up into this, this knowing. They're they're opening up into those of us who have that real deep call. And that call that's not just about serving and helping others, but also this deep call to share our own soul wisdom and to be that wisdom for ourselves and for others. To really have that connection that's not just for, you know, that's not just for the masses, but it's where we can go to consult. It's where we can go to understand ourselves more. It's where we can go to go, hey, I've got this pattern. And somehow it's keeping me in the same loop, or somehow it's making me feel like there's nothing more for me. Or it's somehow like, despite what I said to myself when I was 18, I still feel when I hear my mum's voice in my head going, yeah, yeah. And you're like, I always promised myself that wouldn't be me. But we have these repeating patterns. And we look at our children or the children that are coming into the world, and they're so different, right? They're like these high frequency, like connected, like, you know, and guess what? We're the bridge. We're the bridge for that. And what is both exciting and terrifying about this is that there's not many people that have stepped this path before us. And I think this is also why we are finding and discovering that we have these helper beings, both in the Akashic records and beyond, that are stepping up and going, hey, we're here for you. And I really think that our job, if you're still here on day 2, and you are, most of you who were here last night are still here. And, even if you're watching this on the replay, that we're hearing this call and we're really wanting to step into that space as a guide, as a healer, as a leader, and as a way shower or a wayfinder. And the wayfinders, by definition, we're finding the way. And I think back to my journey, and I've been very blessed to have some incredible mentors um, through my time, and it's been a journey for me to really understand where I come in. And for me, what is so important for me is that we're not just doing things my way, or we're not just doing things their way, or we're not just doing things the way that has always been done before, because we are the wayfinders. We are the way showers. And so what if we can move into this space? The Akashic Records for me have been this real source of guidance, this real source of understanding, this real source of contemplation where I can go and I can say, hey, what's up? What's next? Because from that point of view, we're not just, I know everyone thinks the Akashic Records is about past lives, but they're not. It's not just about everything that's happened. It's about this golden thread that's moving through from everything that's happened into everything that's yet to be, because this is the space that contains everything. And like I said last night about this choose your own adventure, it's not even that the endings have already been decided, but the possibilities are all there. And as we do this work and we keep on choosing this higher timeline and we keep on going, hey, you know what? I'm going to trust myself and I'm going to trust this connection enough that I can step forward and I can do something new and I can do something different. I can do something new and I can do something good. I can do something new and I can do something that's really going to create a difference in this world. Like Christina said, we're challenging the norm, and we are. And so for me, when I've brought Soul School, this isn't a thing of here we go, this is everything, and here is your guidebook. It's a case of this is the connection and this is the field and this is the understanding and this is the job that we're taking. This is the role that many of us have been born to take the helm. And for you to foster your own connection so that you create your own understanding, so that you evolve in your own way. So, as I was saying yesterday about these lights, it's not just a load of me lights hanging around, it's all your lights turning up and shining up, which is what I've discovered with the attunement that I'm going to say received this beautiful experience that I was blessed to receive helps us with, because it gives you your own connection and your own forging of that path. So in this space, you will become practitioners. You will be the ones that are able to stand here like I do when I'm sitting, like I do now, and be able to lead these kinds of conversations. And that's my hope for you. Um, and on a note of that, if you knew, I've got a Google alert on the Akashic Records because I like to see where it's being spoken about. And a year ago, it wasn't really being spoken about this much. Um, there was actually a feature in Cosmopolitan. Yeah, Cosmo. I used to read that when I was. And whatever we think about media, there was last month about the Akashic Records, and I was like, it's going, it's making, it's finding it. And even today in a group, um, there was a question, who reads the Akashic Records, and I got tagged about 12 times or something, and there was only about 4 other people that were tagged. One of them was one of my students, which was beautiful. And what that shows me is that there's this call and that there's this need, and you're all here. 100 and nearly 150 of you now have signed up for this, and thank you if you tagged me. I know some of you did. And it's because there's something going and there's something happening. And my role in all of this is to provide that framework, that space so that you can become these readers, that you can become these guides, that you can help lead other people through, not just so that you're finding your highest self, so that you're moving into your highest identity, so that you're making the moves, not from fear and doubt and lack and all of the things that happen that have been that we've incarnated with, but the next and the next and the next, because this is how we grow. This is how this new earth is being born, and I really feel that we're part of it. So, in Soul School, you'll learn how to become that practitioner, to clear your emotional blocks, to align your energy with abundance, to connect in with that highest guidance, to connect even in with your lineage, your ancestors, your own Akashic guides. And one thing about me, and if you speak to any of my students, I know I'm a geek and I know I laugh about it, but like I'm very grounded with the knowledge. And this makes it easier for my students to take it on and to make it real. So this will be something that very quickly you'll be utilizing, first of all, in your own life, and then in the lives of your clients. And if you're already working in this field, and I think many of you are, let me know with a one if you already are. If you're already working in this field, you will, for me, it's about bringing in, it's not push that all away, let's do this new one, it's better. It's about bringing all of this work in. Um, so whatever it is that you're doing, and I know the people that have already joined have various skills, and I love that, because we're going to be working with many of these different understandings, so that you'll move through from this real place of trust, of understanding, and equipping yourself with everything that you need, that groundedness, that centeredness, that knowingness, so that you can lead your clients in the same way. And the truth for me is this: the world needs more guides, and they need more guides like you, ones that are ready to be leading lasting change and creating wisdom for other people and really holding that themselves, not just learning techniques to learn techniques, but learning techniques so that we can become the change. So if you've heard the call, I know many of you have, you've heard it for a reason. And I remind you that when I first came into the records, I was like, who, me, not me, I don't know anything. Leave me alone. And so it's quite natural to feel that, because it's a big step. And I know it's a big step. So if you want to join us, I've opened up my diary for tomorrow. And if anyone wants to jump on a call with me, and just talk about whether it's suitable for you and what the group's like, and your personal journey in there, then just send me a DM and we'll find a 15-minute slot and we will chat about it. And Amy, who was in my group this last year, and she's joining me for the master's program next year. She's messaged me today and she said if anyone wants to chat with her about her journey, she's open in there. So her details are in the Telegram group, so you can reach out to her as well. Okay. So I understand that this is like a really big leap and it can feel like, oh, especially if you're not sure what's next. But if you're feeling it and you're hearing it, it's because you're ready. It's because you've been called. It's because the Akashic Records are literally calling and bringing people in. Like I shared with you yesterday, before I started this experience, when I was considering about 2025's class of Soul School, I received this beautiful vision, and that I was in these chambers and I started to see these pictures. So those pictures that I shared of Leslie and Abby and Debbie today in that frame, like that's like what I saw of these pictures starting to appear, and these empty slots, and it was like, we're ready. Call them in, Melissa. And I was like, okay, let's do this. So if you've heard it, it's because they're calling you. And then my job is to give you that safe space, that understanding, that framework, so that you can safely enter in, not just into the outer realms, but into the inner realms, into the depths, so that we can really bring out that healing, that guidance, that wisdom, so that we can use it moving forward, so that you can read the past lives of other people, so that you can understand the soul journey of yourself and of others. You'll also be working with each other. So you will get readings as well as giving readings, which is all part of the fun. Something was like every time I was moving, like the arm of my chair was going, okay, it's there. It's very annoying. So, um, this work will shift things for you. And I've already had people who have joined who have said, oh my God, since I said yes, all this weird stuff started happening. These opportunities are coming my way. And I'm like, it's no coincidence because we are working in this field. We've said yes to something massive, and the field's going, hey, she's ready. And I'll be there supporting you. And so this is an investment just not just in you, but in your legacy and who you are and who you're becoming and what you are leaving behind in the world. And so I'm going to wrap this up. If there's any questions about Soul School, about joining, about any of the more of the details of it, please pop them in here. I'll be happy to answer them. But I'll leave you with this before we go into the journey, that if you're ready to step into your soul's work at a deeper level, if you're ready to become the change that the world wants to see, if you're ready to deepen that connection and find that clarity and move through those blocks that you're like, oh my God, when will they ever leave me? This is the opportunity. And my promise to you is that I'm there for you for that 6 months. We'll be meeting around about every other week. So there'll be 12 sessions. There is an opportunity to have a VIP option where we get another private group. So you can put any messages in there, like in between. We've also got a Facebook group that you can ask any questions, and I'll be doing Q&As in there as well, because questions come up, right? A lot. And it's lifetime access to the course as well. And so if you're ready to take this journey for yourself, for others, for all, and really step into purpose and really be on that path of I am making change, then this is my invitation to you. And together, my job is to help you unlock your potential so that you can unlock the potential of others. And for me, that's what it's all about. At the end of Soul School 2024, I got very emotional. And amazingly, the recording didn't quite work. So I was like, it's only the live people that see it. But you know what? So we did this journey for 12 months last time. So we had a call once a month and we did it for 12 months. And I think it's testament to the work that there was 10 people in the group. And on the last call, I think there was 7 people on the live. And that is, think about the courses that you've signed up to. And after 12 sessions, if you're still there. And I think that's just testament to the work and to the group and to the support and the enjoyment. Like, it is a lot of fun. I hope you realized yesterday, I don't, whilst it's really serious work, I don't take it that seriously, because spirit is about love and vibration. And yeah, so we do have fun in there as well. And there's been some incredible connections in there. So if you want to join us, I'm going to pop this in here as well. You've got a few minutes before the journey starts. And if you want to arrange to have a call with me tomorrow, then please do. What is it? Soul level. Oh, and a couple of you have been asking about the bonuses. So some examples of the bonuses, because I was going to just put one thing on. But the example of bonuses are a one-to-one call with me, which right now is £555. That's how much a one-to-one Akashic Records call with me is. Or a business call if you'd rather go with that. Or a week on Telegram with me. I'm working with somebody else for a week on Telegram, and I'm sure she'll tell you just how in that week, how much we've managed to smash through. It's amazing. I've got my Holy Fire Reiki Master Teacher training coming up. It's actually available for half price to those who are eligible if you sign up. So some of you will get that. And it just depends. It depends what you need. And I will be having a conversation once you sign up, and I will find the thing that's going to help support you the most. So your bonus will be worth between 500 £800. It's not just a bonus class. And everyone that signed up already, I've dropped a little bonus in your dashboard as well, and you're going to have to log in to find out. The recording, there was a bit of a tech issue, so if it's not in there yet, it will be there in the morning, but I've got it sorted my end. And that's just the kind of thing I do because I love it. Okay. Okay, everyone take a breath. Take a breath in, be in with yourself. We are gonna go on a journey because the thing with the records, we can talk about them all day long. And it's when we journey within them that we really begin to feel and understand and have our own experience. Now, I know some of you have, and I know some of you haven't been in before. So, and also I'm very aware of the conversation that was happening in the Telegram group about aphantasia. So I'm going to preface with this. This is your journey. And my job and how I work with these journeys is they are a channel. I don't know beforehand exactly where we're going. I have an intention, and I don't know. I'm going to take you into the space, and I get given guidance by the guides. Um and and my job is to speak them. Okay. For some of you, you might find that your guidance goes kind of slightly different. If that happens to you, it's okay. You don't have to see anything. You're just having an experience. So if I invited you right now to imagine that you were drinking a hot cup of your favorite hot drink, can everyone imagine that they are drinking, or they will drink, or they could drink, or they could just bring into imagination a hot cup of your favorite drink? And just notice how you experience that. So maybe for some of you, you see the mug that it's in. Maybe for some of you, you feel the heat of the. You've got time to grab one if you want, but it will go cold by the end of the thing. So maybe some of you can feel the heat in your hand. Like for me, when I start to experience it, the first thing is I just kind of get an impression. So it's not even the visual first. I get this impression of like, yeah, I know what a hot drink is. And then I see the mug that comes to mind. And then it's like and I'm not even doing it with my hands, but I'm imagining my hands moving around the mug like this. And maybe I'd do that with my hands. My breath might go deeper. And especially if it's something like cacao, or if you love coffee, or if you love different teas, bringing in that scent and that smell and how it makes you feel. Can everyone do that? Has everyone got an experience? Give me a one if you have, and a zero if you haven't. Okay. And it may be that you just know. You're just like, well, I don't know. I can see it. But what I did, this is quite common. I'm just saying to myself, I have a cup of hot tea in my hand, and it's warm, and the glass is, and my mug is pink or whatever. And you're kind of like this self-dialogue. That's okay. That's like a clairaudience, kind of like you're reading a book. Yeah. Okay. So you've all managed to experience something. So if I say in the thing, you see, and you're like, I don't see, it's fine. Just experience it. It's one of my things that I'm just very aware of it because I've been in many meditations where I'm like, I cannot see what you're saying. Um, so just have the experience. This isn't just me saying words. Like I said, we are going into the Akashic Records. We are going into an energetic holding. We're going into that space that I was describing yesterday, which is a space of pure unconditional love, which is a space of non-judgment, which when we go into your individual records, it is a space where your guides and the lords and the masters and the teachers of the records know you so deeply. They know us better than we know ourselves, and they love us for it. And they're like, these are the ones that decided to be human. These crazy souls decided to be human. And so they have this inherent respect for you. And they brought you here, or you've brought you here, and I don't know, and they've helped. And there's been a lot of, shall I say, consultation happening behind the scenes. So they want you to have an experience. And those questions that you answered, whether you answered them in type or you just answered them in your head, that I asked you yesterday and this morning, are all swimming around in there. And as you ask them, as you type them in the space, it's like you sent a message to those guides. So they are already working on that with you, for you. And when we don't journey into the space, they will do their very utmost best to send you the synchronicities, to send you the little message, to send you the intuition, to drop a little, a little insight in there. But here we're collapsing all of that time and we're just going straight in. And so that's what I'd really love to do for everyone today, is to help you get clarity on that question that you brought. That sound good? Okay, let me just okay. So the meditation, I don't know how long it'll be. It will be at least 30 minutes. Don't worry if you drop in and out. You can have a pen and paper handy. Some of you are really good at going in and out very easily. That's fine. Otherwise, don't worry about remembering things. I'm going to record this. And so you'll have access to coming back to this. And those of you in Soul School, I will pop this recording on the dashboard as well so that you can come back into it whenever you like. So I'll record the meditation separately for you. Let me just do that. Otherwise, please know that this isn't just my words, this is the energetic holding that we're going in. So even if you don't consciously experience anything, on an energetic level, on a soul level, you're going to be journeying in there. You're going to be making that connection. And they work on the energy, which then influences the thoughts, the emotions, and the physical and the actions. It's kind of how it works. So you all experience it in any of those levels. Some of you will feel, some of you will have thoughts, some of you will have visions, some of you feel like you want to do something. And for some of you, you'll be like, I'm not sure what happened. And tomorrow you're like, all this weird stuff keeps happening. I was just thinking about this and then it happened. Vanessa, what's going on? I get it so often. Like it's crazy how often I get it. So just trust in the process. Don't worry about remembering anything. And yeah, and just let it be. If you get disturbed, just know that you will come straight back out, and that's fine. And you can always drop back in. I will be closing the records for all of us at the end, whether you complete it or not. So don't worry. If you do drop out and you feel like you've gone deep and you're like, you can just say to yourself as you leave, the records are now closed. If that feels good for you, it'll just drop you out of the space. Just get yourself grounded. A good way to ground is to kind of do this with your feet, like scrunch your feet up or like stamp your feet. Or a bit weird, take your tongue and push it to the top of your mouth. That's a really quick, simple way of grounding. Yeah. Otherwise, just bring some movement into the body. Okay. We ready, ready, ready? Okay. My hope is you enjoy. So just allow yourself to come into your breath and just notice how the breath is for you today. Maybe you can notice that the breath is coming into a particular part of your body. And I just want you to acknowledge that for now. Just acknowledge the breath. And notice how the breath is that conduit between the outer and the inner. That without even thinking about it, you have this beautiful mechanism in your body that automatically, hundreds of times an hour, connects you effortlessly to the outside world. And as you breathe in, your attention starts to go inwards. And as your attention starts to go inwards, you can allow yourself on the out breath to just begin to relax. Knowing that you are here and that you are safe in this space. And really knowing and trusting in our highest wisdom, our wise self, our higher guidance, that knows exactly what you need, that knows exactly what you've been working on and what suggestions and what experiences and what thoughts and what healing is going to be appropriate for you. And whilst our brain or our mind or that inner chatter, which is with us all the time, all day, every day, can be so useful, and our brain and our egoic mind, which we certainly learn to befriend, and is certainly very useful. For now, we can invite that part of ourselves to simply rest and be, knowing that our wisest self, the part of us that is here for our evolution and our growth, our wellness, our healing, our highest potential, is guiding us and taking on what is needed and leaving what is not. And that all of our other selves, our protector, our ego, our inner child, and all of the other aspects and part of ourselves are all now being guided and led by that part of us that we know as our wise one. And so you, the you that is you, can simply trust and be in this space, just allowing for your breath to relax and soften as each breath easily allows you to move inwards. And please know that any outside distraction, anything that seeks to disturb, only serves as deepening and allowing for you to understand that this moment and our time together here is here for healing and clarity and connection and growth. And so you can simply relax and let these words and the energy and the healing intention wash over you and through you. Safe in the wisdom that whatever you experience and whatever you know, whatever happens in this time that we spend together, will serve for your highest good, to connect you, for your evolution, your clarity, and your growth. And so, with that, as you continue to relax, I invite you to bring your awareness or your attention into a six-pointed star. Just imagining, however you know how, a six-pointed star that sits somewhere inside your being. And this six-pointed star is filled with this magnificent liquid light. And so even if it appears as if it's static, it's actually moving with this beautiful liquid energy. And as you bring your awareness into this six-pointed star, it starts to emit this frequency of balance, of as above, so below, as within, so without, balancing the left and the right, the masculine and the feminine, the past and the future, the light and the dark. And just your awareness into this inner part of you begins to bring that balance, that oneness, that unity into your being. And so now we're going to use this magnificent breath, this breath that connects the outer and the inner, this breath that has been serving only to deepen your relaxation, to begin to increase the velocity and the size of this star. And so with every in-breath and with every out-breath, you will notice that this star begins to grow. Maybe it begins by getting larger into your being, filling up the inside of who you are. But very quickly, it penetrates through the skin and into your auric field. This six-pointed star that is filled with liquid light. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And somehow, very quickly, before we even know how, the tip of this six-pointed star rises so high, it is as if it is hitting the highest of the high heavens, the center of the central sun, the source of source. And the base of this star, the point of the upside down triangle, connects in with the very center of this earth. And there in the center of this earth lays another six-pointed star, known as the Earth's star, the Gaia Gateway. And as the tip of this star reaches the very center of the earth, it starts to connect in with this 12th dimensional frequency, this frequency that is of pure potential, that is of the highest possible pathway of this earth. For this beautiful earth contains everything that we need to walk our path. And as your star reaches the very center of this earth, it connects you with your purpose, with your groundedness. And indeed, through every layer of this earth, the roots and the soil and the mycelium and the crystal caves and the underground rivers and lakes, the fiery ball in the center, and then right there in the center, this beautiful star. And so this base of your six-pointed star now holds all the memories of you for every incarnation that we have ever had and experienced on this earth, still lives in this earth somehow. Our earth has seen it. They've been there, they've witnessed it. How many trees were here in a life beyond, remembering who you are and supporting you and feeding you and holding you and nourishing you. And the tip of the point of this star connected in with the highest of the high heavens, connecting you with your evolution team, with all those that have known you in spirit and in soul, with your guides, your angelics, with your higher and your highest self, with all of your higher chakras, your soul star and your stellar gateway, back into the spirit and the source of you. And this star that you are now fully immersed in is filled with this magnificent platinum liquid light. And you know you can go ahead and breathe that into your cells, into your being, into you, bringing healing and strength and protection, really high frequency into all of who you are. And of course, if there's anywhere that you need extra support today, physically, mentally, emotionally, you can just bring this energy, this frequency of this liquid plasma light. It knows exactly what to do. And as you breathe it into that space, it fills it up. And as you breathe it out, it drenches that space with the energy of healing and pureness, of unity and of strength. And so here you find yourself in this Merkaba, this six-pointed star, the Merkaba, the light vehicle, the vehicle that transports angels. And today it is here transporting you. And so you imagine this star lifting you up and through. And all around you is just pure, brilliant white light. And this star lands in this space outdoors. And you step foot out of this star. And you find yourself walking along a beautiful path. You're aware somehow of the soft earth beneath your feet. And you find yourself walking, wandering, meandering along this path. And the air is perfectly warm. And the earth is soft and gentle. The air is so fresh, more fresh than you've ever known. And you breathe it in. You're aware of a nearby water source. And the sun is shining down upon you. And as you walk, you notice and become aware that everything around you has been placed here just for you. Every single atom in this space is here for a reason. Every single blade of grass, every leaf on every tree, every grain of sand and every drop of water, every flower, every bird, animal, every sound and every scent, every color, everything that is there for a reason, and that reason is you. And you can just walk and notice all that you notice. Maybe you feel the gratitude for all that is here. Or maybe it's curiosity or astonishment. Maybe it's wonder or joy. Or maybe it's peace. Maybe it's just a sense of knowing, of certainty, of clarity. That yes, this is my place. Yes, this is my space. Yes, this is here for me. And so you just walk and just take in whatever pulls at your attention, at your curiosity. And before long, you notice that up ahead that there's a structure. Maybe it's a cave or a castle. Maybe it's a cottage. Maybe it's something else entirely. And your path is leading you directly into this space. And you know deep within that this isn't just any space. This is a very sacred space. This is your Akashic Records. This is that great hall, that space that contains all of the answers to all of the questions that you ever had or ever will have. It's the space that contains everything of who you've been, who you were, and all that you are becoming. And that this space is here just for you. This is your space. And as you begin to approach it, getting closer and closer, you notice there's a guard or a guardian, a guide, a gatekeeper standing there, standing watch. And they greet you as if they knew you were coming. You connect in with their energy and you let them know why we're here today. Here to receive the healing and the guidance, the wisdom and the knowing of what is to be revealed to us today in our Akashic records. And that anything that we might be holding, whether it's ego or judgment, fear, or anything else, that we can just leave it here at the door. Not to reject it, but simply to be open. And when you're ready, I just invite yourself to place your hands upon the opening of this door, the portal. And your hands, your vibration acts as the password, acts as the key. And with that, the door clicks open and you find yourself stepping across the threshold. And you go down and down into this space of pure love, of pure, unconditional love. This place that knows you so well, into this great hall, into your Akashic Records. And I just invite you to notice all that you notice. To feel all that you feel. To acclimatize yourself to this space. Notice how this space appears to you. Maybe there's something that grabs your attention, that draws you in. Maybe the place is vast and wide or cozy and warm. There's a guide here in this space. And you walk towards them. And again, they knew you were coming. This guide that has known you for lifetimes, that honors your journey, that knows who you are, and that heard your call, that question that you wanted to know, that you knew if you simply had the answer, if you simply had the understanding, that you would feel and think and act differently. And this guide welcomes you how they welcome you, and you make a connection, heart to heart, soul to soul, mind to mind. And this guide's job today is to help you understand. And so they're going to take you to a place or a space now. It's going to help you understand what it is that has created this understanding of life, this pattern, this block, this hurdle. They're going to take you so that you can understand this in a way that is loving and kind and easily understandable. And they know and you know exactly how that is to be. And so your guide leads you into another room or a chamber off to the left. You move off to the left and you find this door. The door opens and you move into this chamber. And however the chamber appears or feels or reveals itself to you, you notice that somewhere in this chamber there is a well, a space that contains this beautiful fire. And this isn't just any fire, this is an Akashic healing fire. A fire that you can use for scrying, a fire that dances and moves, a fire that we can use for transmutation or for warmth, for comfort. And in this space is exactly the key to helping you understand maybe an object, maybe a viewing platform, maybe a book, maybe another guide, maybe a memory, maybe a person, maybe a being. You go ahead and make connection with that. And as you do, you enter this space, you enter this memory, you enter this understanding, and you begin to observe, absorb, allow. Witnessing, understanding what it was and why it was that this is there. Allowing yourself to absorb or observe all that you need to know so that you can come into understanding and acceptance of who you were, of what you understood. And as this scene and this understanding runs in just the way that you will understand, not just on a mind level, on an energetic, a soul, an embodiment level, you take the lesson, you begin to understand what it is from this viewpoint, from this level of understanding, what this has been showing you all along. Learn the lesson now. And anything that has been tangled up, that has been echoes or misunderstandings, that has been keeping you held in the problem rather than the solution, you can begin to unravel. The flame, the fire, the guide, your higher self is there, assisting you and helping you. Perhaps you would like to take a part of this, a representation of this, an object, a symbol, a sound, and place it in the flame. And let the flame's healing powers transmute it and warm it. And just like it does with our food or with glass, the heat, the flame knows just how to transform it into something that is nourishing and warm and helpful that will help you with your growth. And once the flame has done what it needs to do, you can take what is left, the gold, and as you hold it in your hands, you begin to understand the solution, the next step, the where this is taking you, the what's on the other side. Spend a moment allowing for that to open into your awareness easily and effortlessly. Allowing for the knowing and the guidance, the healing, to absorb into your being so that you may know in waking consciousness exactly what to do to follow this highest guidance. Maybe you take the object and you keep it and place it on a part of you. Maybe it's something you can eat or drink, bring into your being. Or maybe you prefer today to leave it behind. Whatever feels right, and you can't do this wrong. Accessing everything that you need right now in this moment that is right for you. You begin to return back into the Great Hall. As you return back into this space, maybe you notice that something is different, that something has changed. And you notice that somewhere there's a lectern or a stand. And on that stand is a book. And you go over and you approach this book. And you notice that it's open. It's open on a page. And you can go ahead and just go and see or know or experience what is on that page. Maybe it's blank. Maybe it's filled with a story. Maybe a sentence or an affirmation. Maybe a picture, a painting. Perhaps it's one of those books that isn't a book at all. It contains an object inside. Just receive what you need to receive, because this book gives you a knowing of an understanding of what's coming next, where you're being guided to, how you serve in the world, what you're being called for, towards, to. And knowing that it is always a choice, that our free will is always there. It's one of the gifts of being a human. And so you can go ahead and turn the page. And turn the page to the first blank page. And you notice there's a pen, a golden pen. one of those perfectly weighted, gorgeous pens. You pick it up, and this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to write in there. Maybe your commitment, an affirmation, a wish, a desire, promise. Something that you want scored in your records, that you want to be guiding you. But if you were the author of your own story, that you would place as the main character. And you write it, and it sparkles in this beautiful gold. Maybe you sign it with your name. And the time is coming for us to depart this space. And so before we do, I invite you to just spend another moment here, just noticing all that there is, knowing that this is your space, your guidance center, that it's here for you, and that it wants you to work with it, otherwise you wouldn't be here now. And that when you choose, and when it is safe, and when it is appropriate, that you can return here to receive the wisdom and the guidance and the healing and the knowing for the highest and the greatest good of all of who you are and all of those that are connected to you and all of those in the greater landscape across realities and dimensions and times and lifetimes. And that this is just the beginning. But now, oh, now you are being called back into life, into the everyday, because you have a job to do. For you are one that has been called. You are one that is here to do great things for you and great things for others. You are one that is here to remember who you are in this lifetime and to live from that space and to walk that path of soul and of spirit and of love and of connection. And so this earth, this world needs you now. And so now is the time to depart from this space. And so we give thanks to the guides that were here, and the lords and the masters and the teachers of the records, and all those that were here to help us today. We give thanks to your highest self and for your wisest self for holding this space and keeping us safe and helping us integrate and understand all that we have received here today. And knowing that you can return when it is safe and appropriate to do so. You find the door in which you came through and you step out onto the outside. And you close the door behind you, and your gatekeeper, your guardian, is still there keeping watch. And we give thanks to them for holding this space so beautifully and so securely. And they confirm that the records are now closed. The records are now closed. And you begin to walk once again on this beautiful path, remembering that every single blade of grass, every single grain of soil is all here just for you. And so as you walk, You breathe in the life force energy of the space around you through the soles of your feet. You breathe in the fresh, fresh air, which contains the codings of everything that you're becoming. You take in the scenery, the feeling of the sun in the sky and the sound of the water. And you walk back through the path, up the path, each step bringing you closer and closer back into your body and into your being. Each step helping you integrate the healing and the guidance and the wisdom that you have received. And each step leading you back into this giant Merkaba, filled with this liquid plasma light. And as you step into this giant Merkaba, you breathe it in and you breathe it into your cells, and you allow your cells to remember that you are connected to this beautiful source and that you are connected to the depths of the earth, that you are here for a reason and you are here for joy and for love and for abundance and for greatness, and that life is waiting for you and you are here to explore and to serve and to connect and to guide and to learn and to love. And so with that, you happily and effortlessly return back into your body. Like you click back in with this Merkaba still around you. And then we come back to that breath that connects the inner with the outer, the inside world with the outside world. And as you breathe in, you begin to breathe that Merkaba back. And breathe it back so it gets tighter and tighter around the body, integrating effortlessly so that you may come back into this space, into this time, into this reality, having been changed with the connection and the clarity that you now hold and the steps to the path that you are taking. And you will continue to breathe that energy back into the body until the Merkaba sits either just comfortably around your aura or inside your being, whatever feels right for you now. And then you'll begin to feel the need to move, perhaps the hands and the feet. Maybe you want to stretch or yawn or blink your eyes open. Just gradually and effortlessly bringing back all that healing and that knowing and that sense of peace with you. Coming back and welcoming back into this space right here, right now, grounded, protected, and connected. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Okay, so just take a sip of water if that feels good, or your hot tea, which is now cold tea. It's okay, Christine. Write down anything you want, and I would love to hear either in the chat, or if you want to take yourself off mute, you are also welcome to do that. Just know that this is recorded. And it is recorded and it will be shared. I haven't decided quite where it's going to be yet, so just know that. So either in the chat, if you want to remain anonymous, or if you want to take yourself off mute, you're welcome to do that. That was beautiful. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. I'd love to know what you experienced. Anything surprising? If you met a guide, how you found the records. I want to know it all, actually. I want to know everything. I want to talk to all of you. Um, Mm. From my space, it felt very gentle, and it was very easeful. It was just this easeful, like your guides were like, it's cool, Melissa. We know where we're going. You just take them here into the chamber and we'll do the rest of the work. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I saw a guide before you mentioned it. It was a silver silhouette of an owl. Wow. So the owl is one of my guides. I've got the funkiest owl. It's the owl. Look at this dude. He is like, he lost an eye, so he's my pirate owl, but like he's like, yeah. Um, he's gold. He's got a gold silhouette. Um, and yes, it is possible. And this is the beauty of working in the records, that I work a lot with my spirit guides. Work a lot with the angelics. Work a lot with the masters, if you like, the ascended masters. And more recently with like the star beings. And whilst the Akashic Records have their own uh, guides and teachers, um, because of in Soul School we speak about the dimensions more, but because of the I guess the way it's set up and the way particularly that we work in the records, these beings are here and they know you, right? They know they literally have access to all your innermost thoughts, right? So they know you. And so they know that if an owl is the thing that will help you feel most comfortable, or the owl is going to give you a particular symbology, or maybe even, this isn't too funky, you had a familiar, you were in Hogwarts once and you had your own Hedwig. I don't know. We have these connections. So people have said that they've had animals that, for example, they knew to be their dog, and even though the dog kind of looked different, they were like, that was my dog, but it looked like a different dog, or like it would look like the same. Or I've had people who see their loved ones in there, people that have passed, and so even if you're working on mediumship, but it's not particularly where I go when I'm doing mediumship work, they can access in there because it's a realm that contains everything. We just become very mindful about, and skillful really about how we're navigating through that. So I love that you have a silver owl and you can go and journey with that owl. Yeah. And anything that you took. So some of you might have had symbols. Let me know if you had like a symbol or an object come in, or like a particular crystal it might have been, or I don't know, like a particular food or plant, era. I don't know what you experience. And you can look it up, or you can go within and meditate with it and discover what that means for you, or what the meaning is. And I mean, even if you look at owl, for me, the owl is about wisdom. The owl's also this kind of like, do you know something magnificent about the owl? Is that their wings are silent. They have these big wings, and they don't make a noise. They're like and so they can get their prey. But so if we think about that, sometimes it's these things kind of coming out of the dark, like, whoa, like where did that come from? This kind of silent um navigator. And we talk about perspective, obviously, they turn their heads pretty around. It can also be about navigating the dark. They're not many are nocturnal. For me, the owl really represents wisdom. So again, take what resonates. This isn't, um, you know. Okay, let me see. My message was a large rose quartz crystal that turned into a golden energy sphere. Gorgeous. It was all unconditional love. Need to look after me first. This is good advice. The gold was abundance. It said because I'm an animal lover and I called it Hedwig. You see, I just mentioned Hedwig. Amazing. I love that. I love that. One of the other reasons I love for everyone to share is because it happens often. They're like, "Oh, I saw that. I saw that too." So when I did the attunement in Soul School, the attunement I spoke about that I received, and I passed on to Soul School in like the penultimate month. Um, I asked everyone to share, and the amount of so I think there was seven of us in that, or seven in that call that received the attunement, and there were so many like the symbols were the same, the experiences were the same. There was things like before I said it, that they saw, and they were like, "Is it this?" I was like, "It was." Um, and how is that? How is that possible? I saw a secret teaching room within a pyramid. I felt worried about opening a text, then a binding light appeared. Definitely have to sit with it. So, what I've learned with the records is when we come in with this particular intention and we hold that it's for the highest good of us and everyone connected to us, and that we're coming in for really from this element of acceptance. This is really what we go into a lot in soul school. Like I said yesterday, just because we can, it doesn't mean we should, right? And it's like a big concept that we sit in with that. But what happens when we're going in with this pure intent is anything that is presented to us is presented to us for a reason. It's not just like a good I've got, just to kind of like that and like you're not allowed to have it. But sometimes it's like there's something there and it's showing us what's possible. It's like this is the next step, and we just need to go through this in order to get there. So it is this balance in there. The feeling worried suggests to me that there's a healing, a transmutation to happen. So that you have the confidence because this is in your records, this is yours. So what wisdom are you holding back on? That's how I'd interpret that. What wisdom are you holding back on? Coming out the darkness, yeah. I went pretty deep, but I know that I was working in there. Yeah. Weirdly, I was given a very large silver fish hook, like Moana. I just went to see it. I'm like, I am Moana. It felt so secretive, almost like someone took me on a side journey. Yeah, maybe they did. Like this, like I said at the beginning, I'm just guided in this space, and this is what I teach you to do. In Soul School, there's not really scripts. Although what we did last year, so I do these journeys in there so that we get used to and we get acclimatized. So you have a number of these kind of journeys in there. um and they basically took the transcript of it so that they could use it as part of that. But for me, it's bringing your own trust in there, so that one of the ways that we work in the records is to receive, like I just received. I didn't quite know where we were going, um so that you can do these guided journeys, these group journeys, because I know many of us like to do one-to-one work, and it's incredible. And especially the Akashic Records, it's some of the deepest work that I've ever done personally and with my clients. We can also run these in groups, and they're just as powerful. That's how before Soul School, I used to run these different series of Akashic. Some of you have done them, like Akashic Records in Abundance. We did the Witch Wound. We did Return to Love, like all these different incredible things. And they're not limited to what I do. You'll have your own. So you're an artist. It might be the Akashic Records and opening your creative flame. I think we did that actually in Soul School one month. Uh, there's a real versatility in how we're working and what we're doing in there. And whether you choose to work one to one or whether you prefer to work in groups, like there really is that opening and an option to do that. Okay. Okay. We have traveled far and wide and deep. Um, and this is just the beginning. And I'm not, I'm not going to go into a hard pitch now because you're all in a state. But the invitation is there that is open to you to come and join us in Soul School. If you join by Sunday, I've got an extra juicy bonus for you. And I just want you to reach out once you've signed up or before. We'll figure out the best bonus for you so that you can really make the most of this. My goal with any of the trainings that I do is for you to be in there with that understanding and to make it your own so that you take it from me and that you evolve it. From my teachers of what they gave me, the biggest gift they gave me was Melissa, here we go. You evolve it. And if I didn't have that permission, we wouldn't be sitting here today. We are on this precipice right now of evolution and growth. There is so much potential coming. And whilst I am definitely one to honor the ways of the past and the rituals and the experiences and the incredible masters like Master Asui did this incredible work with Reiki, it's about taking that and bringing this into this new level of consciousness and honoring the old ways and then going, hey, where are we going? We're in a new earth. What are the new ways? And how do we remember the ancient ways? Because we are on an evolution path and our souls are like, they they're pulling us forward. And our humans are like, oh, and I catch up. And so this work really brings us into allowing the soul to come through. Because my belief is that we incarnate as humans so that our soul has a path, our soul has an evolution. We begin, it's not better and best. It's not like we're going up this hierarchical ladder. It's this expansion. I'm coming and I'm experiencing this and I'm experiencing this and I'm experiencing this. And one of the gifts we have is we forget how hard it was here or here or here. But one of the gifts we now have is, well, we can remember that without re-experiencing it, without keeping on looping in these old ways, in these restrictions, in these power dynamics that are being held upon us. We're breaking free, and the way, from what I've experienced, and certainly for me, for my clients, for the people that have just come through Soul School and my mentorship programs, it's the key is coming into this higher wisdom, this higher identity, and again and again and again making those choices. Because the people that you see in the forefront, you could look at whoever, you could look at me and be like, she's so brave, she does these things. It's not that, it's not like there's no fear, it's not like there's no doubts, it's not like there's no overwhelm, it's not like there's no like, or maybe I won't. There is that, there's all of that, because that's part of the human journey. But the soul journey is, okay, we've got that. We're not discarnate and we can just manifest everything in a second. We're in a body. And so we have our fears and we have our doubts and we have our, you know, but it's this, I have this soul and I have this higher calling and I have this higher wisdom. And I'm going to keep on acting from it. And the more we do that, the more we help others do that. And so for me, it comes with doing it from self first, because then our cup is full and then we're honoring ourselves from that real high space. We're evolving ourselves, we're leading the way, and then others will naturally come. And so we work with our clients in a way that's different, and we're holding that embodiment of look what's possible. And imagine if 10 of you came and did that, how many lives 10 of you will then go on to, you know, if you did one reading a day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, or you did one group program with, we had about 20 people here today. We've had 150 people in the group who have somehow or another been touched by the Akashic Records. Imagine 10 of you did that. How many people will get that experience? And what you will get every time I run something like this, I evolve, because that's we're in the energy. Every time I run a meditation like that, I'm in the energy and I receive the healing too. And with the attunement, which I'm not seen anywhere else, it's just amplifying everything. So if you're feeling it, if you're hearing the call, if you're wondering if this is a path for you and this is possible for you, now is the time. The quicker we say yes, the quicker things start to move through. So the invitation is open. I have payment plans available. We can make things work for you if that's what we need to do. I'm here. I'm not one of those coaches that just disappears. I'm here. I'm at the end of Messenger. Like I'm here, and all my clients will tell you that. I don't just sort of disappear. And if you want to chat to me about whether this opportunity is right for you, then my diary's open tomorrow. Just send me a message on Facebook or on Telegram, whatever feels good. And I will, we can arrange a time, or we can just chat on Messenger if that feels good. You're very welcome. So this was wonderful. Thank you for sharing this experience. Thank you. That was incredible. It's a pleasure. And thank you all for coming. Surprise bonus. I will be in the group tomorrow, in the Telegram group tomorrow. I've got a couple more tasks and questions for you to wrap everything up. So be in there. If you haven't done today's task or yesterday's task, you've still got time. The group is staying open all weekend and it's going to close on Monday. So please do that. It's all feeding in. It's all working in the records. It's all been designed for that. And the more you put in, the more you'll get out. So we are here. And those of you who have already joined Soul School, I'm honored to be walking this path with you. So everyone that was here, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll see you in the Telegram group tomorrow morning. So much love to you all. Pure gratitude to everybody. See you soon.